ready to go.
So from here, it's approximately 2.5 to 3 miles to the start, which for me is a perfect warm-up distance. I would say for most people that's exactly what you want. In the past few weeks I've done 2 5Ks in Prospect Park, and I've gotten stuck either standing on the subway for an hour or sitting for an hour and a half and then having to rush into a warm-up, and it's just an awful feeling on the body. Now I've come to the start here. Always inspiring to see the Achilles volunteers and the athletes at the start of the race. And here at the start, it was a little bit crowded, but I took advantage of it. I figured there was no need in starting too fast. Being boxed in a little bit, I figured was an advantage. In these 4 mile races, the way they have it set up, the first mile is the steepest hill in Central Park, Cat Hill. So you definitely don't want to hit that hill out of breath. And I surprised myself here. It felt so easy. I thought, well, maybe I'm going to hit the first mile at 8 or 8:15. But I figured I'd just go with it. And here I'm coming up to my old friend Julio, who was my inspiration in his late 50s, I believe. He ran half marathon in 1:15, 1:16. Always had great humor, always inspirational. In this race, he looks like he's taking it more on the easy side, but he's still in great shape. Whenever I feel like my courage is failing me a bit, I think of people like Julio, who just get out there and always do their best, and it gets me out the door. As we're getting over Cat Hill, I felt pretty good. Pretty good. I felt like the time I took warming up was really worth it. I was even a little surprised. The first mile, actually, according to my Garmin, was more like 7:20, 25. And this next mile is slightly downhill. So I'm still feeling pretty good. Not really feeling like I'm putting in much of an effort at all. Yeah, so it looks like the Garmin recorded my first mile at 7:29. I was surprised how easy it felt. The past weeks in Prospect Park, that first mile was also uphill, but it was horrible. I was out of breath, struggling. Just such a different story when you take time to warm up your body. And here the water stopped. No need for that. People were talking about humidity, and it was around 85%, but I wasn't feeling it. And soon we'll be turning here into the cutoff and into the 2 mile mark. And here, my Garmin actually recorded a 7:08 mile. And I was again very surprised, not working hard, but now toward the 3rd mile, we get to this series of uphills. And if you're not used to training in Central Park, this can really just throw some people off. And we're coming up on the famous home of John Lennon, the Dakotas. You'll see on your right there. And 3 miles. And I was starting to feel it a little bit, but my Garmin recorded 7:31, which I'm happy to take. Again, the warm-up just made so much of a difference. I'm not huffing and puffing, I'm not struggling here. It's just such a difference from Prospect Park in the past 2 weeks. And this last mile is slightly downhill, which is always a nice thing in a race, to have your last mile downhill.
I've been 10,000 miles in the mountain of the graveyard, and I tell you it's hard.
I started to feel like I was working a little bit, but that was okay, you know. I was just keeping it light and smooth.
It's gonna fall. And what did you hear, my blue-eyed son?
Love this
And what did you
4-mile course with this last mile being the downhill.
I heard the sound of thunder, it roared without a warning. I heard the roar of a wave that could drown the whole world. I heard 100 drummers whose hands.
And here we are at the finish.
I heard 10,000 whispers, nobody.
The Garmin officially recorded it at 29:44 at a 7:21 pace.
many people laughing.
Always
I heard the song
loved the
of
end
a
of a
poet
race.
who died. He died in
I've forgotten how nice it was, the camaraderie,
heard the
people
sound
hugging,
of a
celebrating
clown.
with
He
each other.
cried. He cried in the
I'm
end.
so glad all of it is back. I hadn't
I'll tell
realized
you
I
it's
missed it
hard.
so much.
And it's hard. It's hard. And it's hard. It's a hard rain. It's gonna fall.
And there's nothing like getting your goodie bag at the end of a race, of course.
And what do you do now, my blue-eyed son?
Love the pretzels. Always love the pretzels and
What
water.
do you do now, my darling young one? Well, I'm going outside before the rain. So the rain starts falling. Where the walk in the valley meets the damp, dark forest. Where the people are many and their hands are empty. Where the pellets of poison are flooding their waters.
It's gotta be a special feeling being with
Where
your
the
teammates.
home in the valley meets the damp, dirty prison. Where the executioner's face is always well hidden.
Time to pick up the bag, of course, and head back.
Where souls are forgotten. Where black is the color, where none is the number.
This is one advantage of being in some sort of condition.
Speak it and think it,
having
and breathe it,
the endurance to run to the race, to warm down, run back a little bit.
All souls can see it.
And again, Achilles is so inspirational.
Till we start sinking.
The guides, the volunteer, they really put themselves out there. They give their all to the athletes.
And I'll tell you, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's so hard. It's a hard rain that's gonna fall.